Hello and welcome to another edition of Only in Illinois, your weekly video recap from Reboot Illinois. Madeline Dubeck here as always with Matt Dietrich, and this week Governor-elect Bruce Rauner went to the Capitol in Springfield as a little bit of a conquering hero, but he promptly told all of us in Illinois that he's learned in the intervening weeks since the election that state finances are stunningly bad.
This is one of the most important things I'd like your readers and listeners and viewers to understand. The financial condition of the state of Illinois is stunningly bad. It's horrible. And it's worse than even actually, I think your newspaper's done a pretty good job of writing what they call it, a booby trap budget, I think they called it. That's a kind term, and it understates the situation.
Stunningly bad, which is something that we've all pretty much known for quite a few years. And we suspected that Bruce Rauner knew this all along during the campaign as well.
And so, as we've been writing for some time on Reboot Illinois and elsewhere, a tax hike could be coming soon?
Well, that, or at least we're going to see some bargaining, and there's a lot of speculation now that Bruce Rauner's press conference was sort of a prelude to him backing off of his entire campaign platform, which was let the tax increase from 2011 expire as scheduled, let the rate drop from 5% to 3.75%, low taxes, better business climate, and smooth sailing for us.
But this is not the first time we've seen this sort of move by a Republican governor-to-be.
No, and there has been a lot of discussion about this, and there's talk about this being a big Jim moment, which is a reference to Governor Jim Thompson coming into office and saying, wow, I didn't imagine that the budget was this bad. You know, we can't get by on what we're collecting.
Okay, so stay tuned for more on that, as we've been predicting for some time. And while Bruce Rauner was in Springfield, he met with the treasurer-elect, Mike Frerichs, the Champaign Democratic State Senator, and what a wild race this has been long after Election Day.
Right.
Why don't you explain for everybody what happened just in like the last few hours of the ballots being counted?
When on Election Day, when the polling places closed, and on that night when they counted the Election Day ballots, Tom Cross, the Republican candidate, led by 21,000 votes. Then, in the ensuing 2 weeks, absentee ballots that came in by mail, provisional ballots, which were, I believe, the ballots that were cast based on same-day registration.
Right.
Those began to, at first they...
Which is a new thing this year.
Right. At first they came in fairly quickly, and for 3 or 4 days after the election, Cook County and Chicago were offering online updates of their counts. Things got closer and closer and closer, and until about, until 2 weeks after the election, we saw the treasurer's race separated by about 400 to 500 votes. It was a record close statewide election. It was, at one point, it was about 0.014%, and it was on pace to be one of the closest in history. Then, however, all of the election authorities, mostly county clerks around the state, they had until November 18th to get all of their mailed-in provisional ballots, all of those counted and tabulated. When that happened, there was a surge, and it went from a lead of 500 for Tom Cross to a margin believed to be about 9,600 for Democrat Mike Frerichs, who on Wednesday, 2 weeks and a day after Election Day, finally was named the winner, and Tom Cross conceded. And it was a very gracious kind of a victory speech that Mike Frerichs gave in his first post-victory press conference, and Tom Cross was very gracious.
Also gracious.
In defeat. They both praised each other. Now,
so we have several Democrats who've won statewide: Dick Durbin, Lisa Madigan, Jesse White,
now Mike
Frerichs. And we have a Republican governor, Republican comptroller.
Yeah.
That bottom ballot race is often viewed as kind of a temperature taker, if you will, of what the Illinois voting electorate is like and where they're at, and it would appear that it's still somewhat Democratic, even though Bruce Rauner won. Maybe we've become a swing state.
Well, and the other thing that you saw in the election, of course, was voters overwhelmingly want that minimum wage raised. They overwhelmingly want a tax on millionaires, but they also elected Bruce Rauner. So they wanted a change in the governor's office. They wanted somebody different in the executive, but they still have, Illinois is still a blue state, values-wise.
Okay. That's it for this week's edition of Only in Illinois. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next edition.